Well, hello everyone. Technology sucks sometimes. It wasn't working for me, but we're here. And I want to welcome our special guest, Ken Somerville. And if y'all aren't connected, if one of my mods would be so kind as to put It's All About the Biology link up. If your mod, Ken has commented up above. So there you have it. Evelyn Newman is a brand new member of Simply Jan Homestead.
Cool.
Evelyn, thank you. That's so cool. Hello, Jesus is Lord. Barb. Silly Lily is here. How you doing, Lily? Good to see you here. Let's see. Those are all my comments. Woo, I was chatty. Hey, Jennifer, what's up, girl? How you doing? There's Neil and Beth at Treasure Hunter Neil. Good to see you. Rambling with the Brooms will not be live after me, just to tell you, he's part of Shenanigan Friday. And there's Freedom Redbird, my bird. Hi, Brenda. I call her Bird. And
Okay.
there's Angie, our cabin in the woods. Troy Sutton. Hello, my brother. Good to see you. There's Beth at B and Us Odyssey. Leonard Mountain's here. Amy and Chris. Okay, Carrie and William. I totally get it. And there is, now you got to say it with me, Linda, Linda. How you
Linda.
doing, my love? Yes, that's how I always say her name. Anyway, well, Ken, I'm so happy to have you here and to be able to share part of your story. I've got some questions. Happy birthday, Rebecca.
Happy birthday.
It's her birthday, yes. So I have some non-intimidating questions to ask you eventually because I really feel I feel like my friend who just goes on, and that's how I felt since we were backstage. So sorry,
Okay.
not my biology's cranked up, man.
Oh yeah, firing on all cylinders, Jan.
Yeah, yeah. After the live, I'll be like, I need a nap. So this is Ken Somerville. Wait, gotta
Yeah,
get the hand.
Somerville.
No, I was doing my hands wrong.
Oh,
Ken Somerville. No, see there, Ken. Yeah, that's Ken. Hey, Mona, sifting some soil. So, um, Ken, tell us a little bit about you.
okay. I'm old. I used to play Santa Claus because I got the white hair and I'm a little chunky. But I grew up organically. I grew up in the early 60s. They found out I was allergic to the preservatives they're putting in the foods. Oh, hold on. I gotta go like that.
Yeah.
Um, and being allergic, my mom switched to organic everything. We had my dad would go hunting, so we ate elk and moose, etc. for our meats. We had friends that raised the animals that we consumed, so we knew there was no preservatives in them. And so that's when I started I guess would be the organic journey, not even knowing anything about organic back then. It wasn't really a term thrown out. Then growing up, I am a consummate researcher. I love knowledge and love to understand the why behind things. So
Yes.
I got hurt around 15 years ago. I was a truck driver for 20 years. I have been over most of North America doing long haul driving. But when I got hurt, I turned to plant medicine for what was going on with my body. And of course, if I'm going to consume it, I wanted it to be as healthy as it possibly could be. So I went down the living soil rabbit hole in organic, and I found out all of these different things by listening to different scientists, different researchers, different homesteaders, etc., that were doing these things to help them grow, crops and their own food in the best way for the health of themselves. And so I ingested all that knowledge, and I'm still ingesting knowledge today. And my gift, I guess, would be in correlating all that knowledge, being able to bring it under one umbrella, to be able to share what I've learned and be able to bring people to the understanding that it's all about the biology, because that's how everything that's alive on our planet is put together cell by cell. So that's really where I come from. I've lived on an organic strawberry farm, 14 acres. um, I've never been into the herbicides and pesticides, so that's why I went the way I went. I've also done worm farming. I've done aquaponics, aeroponics. I've tried a lot of different growing methodologies to get to the point where I would never do anything but a true living soil system.
And it's worked. It's
It
proven.
works phenomenally well. And
Yes.
like the medicine I was growing, most of it is indoor cultivation. It's one of the plants that's actually looked at by science and the government very, very strictly for what's in it, whether there's heavy metals, etc. Most people don't understand the food that we buy in the grocery store. Generally, if it had to be tested the way this other plant is tested, there wouldn't be anything on our shelves to actually consume. Um, and l-
Exactly.
learning all of that, you really start to become aware of what you are consuming and what it's doing in your body, let alone what, how we can make the food we're consuming that much better.
Exactly. Yeah. It, I'm going to say hi to some people real quick because
Go
I don't
ahead, go
want
ahead.
to. Morning coffee with mom, Canadian family life. Hello. So good to see you here. Um, Christy Betts. So great to see you, my friend. Let's see who else. Clyde, let's have a cup of coffee. How are you? I'm
Coffee.
yeah. I'm trying to see if I missed any questions.
Yeah, guys, just to let you know, I'm not gonna watch the chat today. Uh, I get sidetracked too easy if I'm watching the chat. So
Serena, hi. I know I just sort of froze it so I wouldn't lose my spot. But that's an amazing story. And I love that you've taken that knowledge and you've learned from it. And, and it's ever changing, right? So
yeah,
to have the base and the basics and
yeah,
then take that and expound on that. It's just fascinating to me. And every time I listen to you interviewing someone or being interviewed by someone, I just, I think I told you before, I don't know where you store all that, but like I'd be filled up head to toe. I'd be like, short circuiting. So, hey, Peterson, it's good to see you. Um, but to me, there's so many aspects of gardening
hmm
that we don't even touch on and that are beneficial not only for our garden but for our body.
hmm
And I'm going to talk to you about that in a little bit.
okay.
Backyard Trucker, so good to have you here tonight. I'm glad you came over. And so here's my first question. And I was just sitting around thinking about it because everyone's like, save your eggshells, bake them, grind them, do your thing like
hmm
that, right? So put them in your garden. Okay. So I learned a couple years ago that for the calcium in the eggshell to actually break down and be useful for the plant takes years.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
Yeah. So see, I don't. That's why I don't put it in my garden. Well, I
Well,
do put it in my compost. Hi, Charlene. I
there
do.
are different ways that you can speed that process up. Um, a lot of it is Korean natural farming or just natural farming methodologies. But basically, you take your eggshells, you clean them up, you crush them down, you actually cook them. Okay, not just bake them, but cook them on the stove top, or I do it outside because they will smell. So you
Yeah.
take them to a golden brown, not black. You
Okay.
don't want them burnt. That actually helps to break the bonds of the molecules to make them more easily broken apart. You put that in a 1 to 10 mixture with apple cider vinegar or
Okay.
brown rice vinegar, any vinegar that has the mother culture. What
Okay.
happens, biology then starts eating the eggshells, breaking them down into their component parts, calcium being one of the main ones you're looking for, and it actually will strip all that calcium out. Then you can take that, use it in a 1 to 100, or no, 1 to 1,000 ratio. So for every milliliter or very small amount of an eyedropper, you put that into 1,000 milliliters of water, and I'm not sure what the conversion for cups would be, and you can use that as a calcium that you can spray onto your plants, on your garden, on your yard. You can use it to put into your watering for your chickens. It helps with the calcium for your
Okay.
chickens as well.
Yeah.
Um, but that's a very simple way to speed up that process, because even in your compost pile, it's a years long process for the molecules to literally be broken out of the shell, where if you're using the vinegar, the components and the biology in that vinegar is going to break all that out for
Of
you,
course.
just like when we do a fermentation, it's much better for and easier for our biology and our bodies to break it down because it's already partially broken down by the biology. But yeah, that's one way that you can really quickly get the benefits of that calcium out of
Uh-huh.
your eggs. Now, I would still grind up your eggshells and spread it on the soil, because that's a long-term calcium additive that you can have for decades in your soil.
Okay. And so I'm going to say hi to another time. Linda, how you doing? Linda Peterson, I saw what you wrote. Thank you. Arlene, hello. Good to see you. So how long do you think the eggshells take to actually be beneficial once you've done all those things you just told me about, which was phenomenal? Why didn't I think of that? Because
Well,
vinegar's
it,
shizness.
it's it's instantly available to your plant because it's in what's called DOM, dissolved organic material. Your eggshell is organic. So
Mm-hmm.
having it dissolved means that it's floating in the water column, and that's instantly available to your plant when you spray it on. Or you can this stuff you can wipe right on your skin. You can have it, you can take a bath in it if you want, if you're lacking in calcium, because it'll go through your
Wow,
skin. um,
that's
but
amazing.
because it's broken down to such a small particle size, down to molecular level, it'll actually be able to go through the cells on your leaf, and the biology that's building the next set of leaves, the next cells for that leaf, and for more biology itself, because the biology needs calcium in their bodies as well. It's just easy. Your plant doesn't have to signal to the biology in the soil that it needs calcium, because it's already got this calcium readily available for it to use.
Yeah, that's to me, that's just like super amazing. So you might hear thunder. We got a thunderstorm coming through. I wanted to say hi to Jerry and Susan Butler family and to Rainy Ridge, uh, Eric and Tina. So good to see you. I'll see them tomorrow, actually. And Arlene, I think I said hi, but just in case. And there's Rick at Twin Brook Acres. And now Lily's going to freak out because she hears thunder. Nope, back. Yeah,
Yep.
my border collie. She, yeah. See,
Yep.
she doesn't
Well,
like.
mom.
Yeah, she's like, no, I'm not going anywhere. I'm hanging right here with you, Mama.
Go, mommy. You're supposed to protect me, okay?
I know. I tried putting one of them little blankets on her, and she's like, she wasn't having it at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Just me and the jar. Eric had to stay home. Well, Kevin's staying home too, Tina, because he's got a lot to do and he's getting through eye infection. So he was grinding. Hey, Gail. He was grinding some metal at work on some window frames, and he thinks when he looked up, it got over his glasses, and so he got it out. The doctor didn't find anything. They told him, you probably got it out when you flushed your eyes. So it was just irritated. Hello, Susan, the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. That was a great discussion you guys had. I was like, okay, I gotta go. No, okay, can't. I'm
She's an amazing guest, that's for sure.
Yeah, that was great. That was awesome. Okay, so I'll ask you the next question. This is from this is my question. Is there a common mistake you see folks make when combining biology with the soil? Does that make sense?
Yeah. A lot of it is purchasing biology. There's different companies that grow biology in the lab and sell that to you in a bottle. And then there's other companies that grow it in nature and you can get that. So consider that the biology growing in the lab has had the perfect conditions. It's had the perfect food. It's never had to work for what it's gotten. Where the biology that's been cultivated in nature has had to compete with the other biology there. So it's like the kid from the wrong side of the tracks going into the Manhattan, the luxury places. Who's going to be in charge in very short order? The kid from the streets that knows how to manipulate things, knows how to survive. So you have to watch the different biology if you're going to be purchasing it. If you're making your own biology, whether you're doing compost teas, compost extracts, worm casting extracts, etc., that biology has been made in nature. It's there, it's alive, it's vibrant, and it's strong. That's going to survive in your soil systems and on your plants, where the stuff growing in the lab, a lot of it's just going to end up as a food source for the other biology, which can be very beneficial as well. That's why when people use these products, they see a change because it's a food source for the biology that's there, but it's not long term. You have to keep applying that biology over and over again because everybody else is eating it, right? So
Right.
if you want biology that's going to last, you want biology growing from nature. So a product, say like fish brew, which is a fish emulsion, I think is the term that I want to use. It's a natural process. So the biology in that is going to be strong and vibrant and is going to help you long term, where I won't mention some of the other companies, but just be aware that there are companies that are selling biology that are growing in the lab and are very weak.
Very much so. And I've bought into it in the past. And, there's people use the word organic or,
Natural.
GMOs, like such a big thing. I'm like, really? Yeah, natural, all natural,
Yeah.
no, nothing added until you turn the bag over and read the ingredients. And I never did that in the past. But
Yeah.
this year, hey, Amanda, we worked so hard on that garden up front, which we're going to revamp again, but that's okay. Um, that I had everything was at risk for us
Mhm.
this year because last year was devastating. It was awful.
Mhm.
So, and you know what? It was proud. I can't blame the plants. It was me. It was me because I didn't give back to the earth what it needed. And I had grown for 3 years in
Mhm.
those beds and never did crop cover, never, nothing like that.
Yeah.
So let's go because you sort of elated to this when I was on with you a couple weeks. Was it last week or a couple weeks? No.
It's been 2 weeks. It was Tuesday the 2nd, and we're the 26th today, so 24 days ago.
Are you sure? I don't think that's right.
Oh, no, that's yeah, that
I
is
think it was
wrong.
last weekend.
Yeah, it was last Friday. Sorry, I was looking at Gail's
Yeah.
Southern Living. I think. Yep.
Yeah. Gail Southern Living. Okay. So we skimmed over the surface about this. I
Okay.
have I have my opinion, but my opinion has changed a lot this year about weeds in the garden. And I know you have some information that I was like, oh, I should have asked you more, but not here. Well, let's talk about weeds in the garden and the benefits of it.
Well, I don't trying to get people, instead of calling them weeds, call them medicinal plants for the soil. A lot of the
That's good.
weeds, or what we call weeds, if you go to an apothecary, that's what they're going to be giving you, milk thistle, etc., to heal your body. It's
Yeah.
Mother Nature that built those to heal the soil. So a weed, like, we'll just use dandelion as the example.
Yeah.
Dandelion has a massive taproot, so it's one of its jobs is to break up compacted soils, but it's also giving your plant a lot of calcium because the biology associated with that dandelion is mining calcium out of the soil structure and the organic material to feed that plant. So when that plant dies and is reincorporated into that soil structure, then the biology that breaks it down is going to break that calcium out and be able to feed it to the next generation of plants. So when you're looking at your yard and you're seeing particular weeds that are coming up, find out what they are, what they have in value medically. So, a herbalism book will give you the list of all of that. You
Yeah.
can do your research, but if you take that plant and any other plants that are growing that would be classed as weeds, put them into a bucket and let them ferment and break down the biology at them, all the components that Mother Nature was looking for, that plant was there and sprouted for, you're going to be able to give back to your soil system. And maybe the next year, that particular weed won't be there because why Mother Nature put it there is going to be rectified. If maybe it was potassium or maybe it was magnesium, each plant draws different things up into its cell structure that's specific to the plant. So look at those medicinal plants for your soil not as weeds but as indicators for what may be missing in your soils. And it
Yeah.
may not just be calcium, magnesium, it may be biology that's missing in your soil, because in each seed, on the inside and the outside, there's biology. And when your seed pops open, it shoots biology that's needed for that plant into the soil structure. So maybe that's Mother Nature going, we're lacking this particular biology, and that particular biology is going to be associated on your sand or your organic material to draw certain materials up, but it's both sides. It's everything is working together, and the biodiversity in your soil, the more roots you have in your soil, so the more plants, the better off you're going to be in
Hmm.
building your soil to really give you the crops and the health of plants that you want.
Yeah, true. I I get that. Serena had a question up here. Why
Mhm.
not just use worm castings and compost instead of making tea?
You can, but I'll tell you a little secret. I can take a couple of handfuls of worm castings, put them in a lady's nylon, soak those in water or bubble them in water, and get the bulk and majority of that biology off of that substrate. And then I can mix that as a concentrate into a large volume of water and do acres upon acres of coverage with a very little amount. So if you have a worm farm and it's only producing a small amount of worm castings, you can only put a little bit out into your garden, where if you make it into an extract or a tea, you can take that and you can do your entire garden. You can spray all your plants, your trees, etc. That's why I always take what's left and I put it into the garden, but I use extracts specifically for that. Whether it's worm castings, whether it's a compost, or anything else like that that you're trying to do, the more concentrated, the more volume and area you can cover to make everything around you more vibrant.
Yes, and it's concentrated. you
Hmm.
know. I want
Yeah.
to say hi to JS Genesis Design. Shabbat Shalom, my friend. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Um, so, uh, do you do you garden?
Mainly flowers. I was a truck driver for 20 years, so I totally got out of gardening. When I was a kid, I used to be out there every day helping my mom garden. We had 5 people in the family, so we used to grow a lot, and we used to do the canning, harvested and grew our own chickens. Um,
Mm-hmm.
etc. But as an adult, no, I haven't been. I've been getting in more into the flowers. Like we've got all kinds of lilies, and we've got black-eyed Susans, and my wife would give you the better list or the fuller list. But it's for me. I also am into treatment-free beekeeping, so I want to
Mm,
have pollinator flowers to attract more of those bees that are necessary, whether it's a mason bee, a bumblebee, etc., to help to pollinate, to help balance out my environment of where I live. We need all of that biodiversity, and so
yes.
I've been focused more on flowers than anything else, because I don't generally eat greens. I'm not made of green. Eat more your meats. I let the animal consume the grasses and plants, and then they ferment it. They put it into their cell structure, and I eat that cell structure.
Well, that's okay. I'll eat your share.
Oh,
I
and
do like my meat, though. Don't get me
yeah,
wrong.
yeah. Well, I do like a good salad every once in a while. Just it's not something that I would grow and put the effort into. I would rather grow it and feed it to chickens, or feed it to goats or sheep or cattle,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something
I
else.
got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna have to stop here for a second and say hi to Goat Days and Sammy, Mrs. Goat Days, or wife of the Goat Days. How are you? Good to see you. And there's someone else that popped in, Wanda Henry. Hello, Wanda. So good to see you. Um, I winter my sheep in my garden area.
Mhm.
Absolutely, Linda.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Or your chickens
And
as well.
That's what we do. We just let them cut loose. Like when we
Yeah.
still have potatoes in the side bed over here in our house,
Hmm.
but the chicken, we took the fence down, cleaned it up, and the chickens have free range,
Well, on
because
our
why not?
strawberry farm, we had 14 acres of organic strawberries. We used to have geese, and we would let the geese go in and weed for us because they won't touch the strawberry plant and they won't touch the berries until they start turning red,
Oh,
and then you'd have
yeah,
to remove them.
of
But they
course.
were our weeding crew. I mean, it was a lot easier to have them do the weeding than for us to do the weeding.
You got that right.
Yep.
Charles made a good comment. Fermented plant juice is my favorite thing to
Yep.
use in my garden. Yeah, yeah. And see, like, I sort of squirreled back when you were talking about the weeds, but
Hmm.
for 4 years, I've been picking lamb's quarter
Hmm.
because it grows everywhere here. We have the nettle, we have the purple nettle, and I mean, we have herbs everywhere around here. And I what was the other one too? For poison ivy. Oh, I've got it jarred up. I did that. Oh, I hate when I can't remember a name of something. Oh gosh, if you
And
know
I'm
what I'm
not that
trying to
much help on that end of it.
no, it's a herb. It's a
Yep.
flower. I'll think.
Lavender.
If I don't think about it, I'll remember it. So,
Okay.
hi, Charles. I didn't say hi to Charles. But yeah, it's for poison ivy. Hey, Stephen, the backwoods misfit. How you doing, my friend? Um, I thought Charles would chime in. Hey, Flash, good to
Mhm.
see you. He would. I would think he would know
Mhm.
him or yeah. I think Charles would be the one. Teresa, what's up?
Yeah.
Um,
Bushcraft talking about FPJs or fermented plant juice is an excellent way to get those medicinal plants for your soil. Like I was saying, put them in the 5-gallon bucket, get that back onto your garden.
yeah. Okay, so I can't read far away with this. I'm
I'm
doing
doing
carnivore diet.
carnivore diet the last year, but everyone else still eats the salad without um, filtering through the beef. Yeah, I know. It's people are slowly beginning to understand more about their own basic biology and what our biology needs for us to be healthy. I talk about plants feeding plants. That's why you're making a fermented plant juice. But I'm not made of green. I don't have chlorophyll running through my veins. I'm sorry to say it.
Bedazzle, how are you doing? Good to have you. And David Bryden, nice to see you. Let's
Mhm.
see. Love me to the good salad. Oh yeah. I'm one of the gals. I load up that salad with all sorts of goodness. And to me, a good salad has some dried cranberries or some fruit. I don't care. It
Mhm.
doesn't even have to be dried. Fresh fruit, some pecans, maybe I can't eat walnuts. They're too acidic for me, but pecans, almond. I mean, oh my God, it's some sesame seeds. And
Yeah.
I've got a whole meal in a salad. And then I'll throw, like, if we're having chicken that night, I just cut
Mhm.
it up and throw it in there
Yep.
and
Chicken Caesar
or
salad.
shrimp. Nah, I don't like Caesar. But technically, it's a Caesar salad without the Caesar dressing.
Well, my
I
problem
use,
is I like the dressing, which has way more preservatives and sugars in it than I want to be consuming.
oh yeah, but you can make it yourself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing. When I started really getting into preserving and canning, my own food, I dehydrate. Matter of fact, I have sliced apples with cinnamon and sugar. But that's my husband's treat
Mhm.
is he can just go open a jar and he'll eat a half jar and then he'll go set it down and then it's gone at the end of the night, right? but
Yeah.
these are our first apples we ever grew. So,
Cool.
um, yeah, I've got a bunch of those dehydrated. And I dehydrated my jalapenos, my hot peppers, and banana peppers.
I'm
So,
staying away from your house, okay?
oh, that's some good eating right there. I'm just saying. Ooh, yeah. So, okay, so this is what I really want to see. It's 35 minutes. I want to dive deep into this one because I know
Okay.
what. Okay, not this one yet. Oh, sorry, I've got a couple more
I'll make
questions.
up your mind already,
Yeah,
eh?
okay, we'll dive deep at the end with this one. Don't go away, y'all, because it's gonna get good. Well, it already is. Okay, this is from Heather at Milk and Honey Heritage Farm. How
Okay.
often do you fertilize plants? What do you use?
I generally use the Korean natural farming methodology. So I'm using I don't want to use the acronym. So fermented plant juice, water soluble calcium phosphate, um, oh my goodness, fish amino acid. Basically, there's a whole bunch of implements that I make myself. Then if I want to add stuff, I generally, if I'm doing a tea or an extract, I will add in worm castings or compost extract if I have it. I can also use just straight leaf mulch from a forest to get that biology. I generally once a week, unless I'm seeing deficiencies, and then I want to find out what that deficiency is, and I'll do it foliar feeding. There's a big difference between feeding foliar sprays to feeding the soil. When you're finding a deficiency, if you're feeding it right to where the deficiency is on the leaf structure, it's going to affect your plant right away because the biology is going to grab it, use it. Where you also want to take that and look at if it's say magnesium that you're shy on, you want to make sure that you're putting that magnesium into the soil structure as well, so that the long term you don't have those deficiencies show up again.
Yeah,
um, but anything that is a plant, you want to be feeding back to a plant. It's going to have the chemical compounds, it's going to have at the molecular level the structures that are necessary not only to build the plant but to build the biology that grows the plant. And that's really the key, is
exactly.
having the biology there to build your healthy plant. You can't have full genetic potential of a plant without all of the different diversity of biology being available.
Exactly. Higgs Rock Farm. So good to see you, my friend. So, Ken, do you think that a lot of gardeners just, they make their own compost? I mean, and in all fairness, we just tested our compost for the first time we've ever tested our compost. So,
Mhm.
but we were pleasantly surprised. Um, So phosphates was the only thing it needed, and that was fixable. Okay, so I think a lot of people were like me, and just I used to be called the reckless gardener because I just threw crap in the ground. If you grew, you grew. If you didn't, you didn't. But
Mhm.
what I learned is it's so much funner to grow a successful plant
Yeah.
and enjoy what you've labored over.
Mhm.
It's so much better. Hello, Joe. So let's see, what plants do you suggest for high production? That's a head
Okay.
question.
Okay. In what context, like what would be considered a plant that people would grow in a high production? Are you talking lettuce? Or are we talking wheat? Um, I think you need to expand the question.
Yes, yes, and yes. I don't know. She
Okay.
didn't expand.
Okay. So a high production plant, something that grows really easy, is anything in nature that you find that's growing massive. Um, that's the easiest for your soil in your situation, in what we call terroir, or your specific environment, your soil
Uh-huh.
structure, your temperatures, your moisture. So if you find something in your area that's growing a lot and it's really growing fast and it's vibrant, then that's something that you can look to grow, um, in for two reasons. The one, like if it's plantain, you can eat plantain. If it's natural wheat, you can, take that and you can grow that wheat and consume that wheat. But you can also grow it for biomass. That's one of the main things that a lot of people don't consider, is putting biomass back in your soil, or organic material back into your soils. And Jane, you were saying yourself, you don't never thought of cover crops, but it's that kind of thing, putting that organic material there, the plants being broken down and feeding the next generation of plants, is really one of the biggest and largest keys to having a successful garden, is having that organic material available for your biology to live on, to eat, and then take those components to build the next generation of plants.
So that would be chop and drop on most things, except for
Yeah.
tomatoes. Now I don't chop and drop my tomatoes things, you know, because they carry disease. It seems like when you do that. So I mean, I'm talking about a healthy plant. Now, a sick plant's
Yeah.
not going to stay in the garden. So,
Well, your
um,
sick plants should go in your compost heap and let the biology break everything down in your compost.
that's where they go.
Yep.
That's exactly where they go. Um, so, what about how? I mean, to me, I sort of squirreled again. We were talking about compost, and uh, to me, it's like so important to have your own soil. And when we turned over the beds, we were just shocked at all the worms, because in our potato bed
Mhm.
it was loaded. I mean, loaded. Our chickens filled up on those worms. There's so many. I've never seen so many since we've been
Good.
here,
Good.
and it was really a beautiful thing. So the last minutes, I really want to dig deep into this, because I totally believe in it. What are your thoughts on grounding? And secondly, do you think there's any benefit to grounding?
So you're talking grounding as in taking your shoes off and being in contact with the soil to let the energy from the planet flow up into you?
Yep. Or the grass. I mean, that's
Well,
rocks. Yeah.
laying in in this soil, in a river, in a lake, in a slough hole, um,
Yeah.
you're getting a multitude of different things when you're grounding. So grounding energetically, you need to understand the resonant frequency of our universe and our planet, is calculated by what's called the Schumann resonance frequency. Now, that frequency is running through our atmosphere, it's running through our soils. Your soil is actually, you can make a battery out of your soil. It has a positive and negative charge to it. You're getting that charge from the soil when you're grounding, and it's coming up through your feet, through your body, and it's disrupting the negative energies and rebalancing yourself at a molecular cellular level to be more in balance and in tune with the environment around you. So that's more the energetic side. um, other than that, when you're having yourself laying on that grass, or you're just, you're walking around your garden with your shoes off and you're digging your toes into that soil, you're getting biology coming through your skin. And
Yes.
that biology is going to react to the biology in your system. And if you're missing biology, you're going to gain that by doing that. But it's so important to be balanced within yourself. Like, that's why a lot of people go to a Zen garden and meditate, taking their shoes off, laying in the grass, and just laying there and accepting the energy that's around us, drawing that energy in and giving energy back. That's one of the things that most people don't understand when it comes to the energetic. When you go into your garden, if you're going into your garden angry and upset, your plants know that. They feel that in you. And if you sit down and you meditate and let that go, the plants will send you positive energy, and you're going to be more balanced, more grounded within yourself, more centered within yourself. And that's going to open you up to, the cosmic energy. I call it source. You may call it God or Buddha or whatever your particular belief is. But that energy, we need that energy to live as much as we need breath and water. We need that energy coming in. We're getting it from the sun, we're getting it from the air, we're getting it from touching the soil, having our hands in that soil. We're drawing that in. That's why it's so important, my friends, when you're consuming something, give thanks for that. It's in that thanks that the energy from that plant or from that animal, in thanking it, it's giving back to you what you would love. It's like having a pet, okay? Having a dog. You give them love, you're going to get love back. It happens in all things, whether it's a plant, whether it's an animal, whether it's another person. Give love and accept love back. Don't block it out. Don't go, no, I don't want your energy. Go, thank you for your energy, and move forward with a bright heart that's just shining. And plants, believe it or not, there's studies now showing that plants see color. They see and feel us. They know if you're wearing a yellow shirt in the garden. It's amazing new research that's coming out. But give joy, and when you're grounding, when you're sitting there and laying on that grass and running your fingers through it, give love back to the environment around you as it's giving
Totally
you love.
agree. Totally agree. Now, I'm going to say hi to someone real quick. Hi, Barb, Dot, Debbie, Dana. So great to see you here. Um, I know that, well, all my life, I see Clifton, all my life, I went
Mhm.
barefoot. We
Yep.
we had shoes. We just chose not to wear them.
You're uncomfortable, okay?
Yeah, they were a nuisance, and you had to tie them all the time, and so, um, but hey, Jake, none you Texas and the back 20. I give thanks for all these. So, okay, don't tell Kevin. I don't know if he's listening. I don't think he's probably out at the pond fishing. But yesterday, was it yesterday or no, a couple days ago, he waters the side wooden raised beds by our shop, and I water the big garden up front. And I'm sitting up on the porch, and I hear him singing. And he's singing. Oh God, he's listening. He's singing to the plants.
And
I'm
good for
busted,
him.
busted. But he was singing to the plants. He goes, "You have to sing to your plants, Jan."
It's positive energy. Positive
Yeah,
energy.
it's okay, David. Thank you.
So if
Oh,
he's down at the pond fishing, tell him when he comes back to bring a 5-gallon bucket of water. Make your extracts in that water. It's got all the aquatic biology that's really
ooh,
necessary for your plants. There's different layers of biology, some that like no oxygen, some that like oxygen, and some that can move back and forth in between. But if you need
Nice.
those ones from the water, the stuff that doesn't like oxygen, that's where you're going to get it out of the water column. So if you've got a healthy pond, use that water to water.
Oh, we've got a very healthy pond. So we're
Cool.
blessed. Our pond is spring fed,
Oh,
and
nice.
it's apparently a very big spring. So well, we have like 3 or 4 springs on our property.
Oh,
We don't
nice.
even know where they all are. You were what? You were rearming. Oh, he's rearm. We got our tanks for the life jackets, so we could
Oh,
actually
he just
go out
opened
on
the door behind you.
Kaya. Oh, hi, babe. Hey. Oh, he was a lurker.
Yep.
Lurker. Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, we got the little tanks that if you need to expand your life jacket to work.
Okay.
I did
Yep.
it accidentally one time and I about suffocated to death. And he said, well, you had your life jacket too tight. And I'm like, how do I know? I mean, like,
Yep. Yep.
oh,
Well,
yeah.
in case somebody wants to that doesn't have a pond like Jan does, if you have a fish tank, you can take that fish filter when it's full, you can
Yeah.
stick it in a 5-gallon bucket, leave it for a few days, and when it starts to smell sweet, that biology is right for you to water with.
Yeah.
So there's the little trick.
Yeah. Well, one time we had caught a bunch of fish and he skinned them. And I thought, I'm going to make fish water.
Mm-hmm.
So I put them in the cooler, our new cooler, and I put it next to in the garage or outside, somewhere around the garage. And then I had to move to the shop and Kevin had to move it and it spilled
Oh, yeah.
a little. And he's like, you use this or it's going over the fence. It went over the fence. It'd have been
Well,
sitting
if you're
there
in the city, it's the neighbor's yard, and they're going, honey, why does it smell like fish around here?
Well, the cool thing is everything pretty much for the most part was broken down. And then the hawks and the blackbirds, they got a little snacky snack. So,
Yep.
and probably the dogs, who know, we live on a farm.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And everything's recycled.
And it all went back. So I have these beautiful weeds next to my fence. They're gorgeous.
Well, that's what you want to cut down and ferment and put back on
Yeah.
the rest of your garden.
Well, let me tell you, I don't ground over there. Hey, Heather, I don't walk. Well, I could now. It's been plenty long enough, but yeah, worm tea is funky too. Stayed on my shoes. Oh no, forever. Oh,
Now,
um,
just to give you a quick peek, guys, worm castings, and vermicompost is a little bit different. The vermicompost is better than straight worm castings. It's taking your finished compost, using that as the bedding for your worms. Once they've processed it, it's taken it to another level, and that's even better for your farm.
oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. Hey, I miss Lauren and Joel making it home. They go on at 8 o'clock tonight. Normally it's Scott at Ramblin' with the Brooms, but his puppy had to have some surgery. So hey,
Oh.
Rachel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he needed his daddy.
Yes.
Anyway. Yeah, so I'm okay, so I'm gonna go back to earthing again. Earthing, grounding, you can call people call it different things, but
Yep.
I've always called it grounding. But my daughter sent us these sheets, and it's a bottom sheet,
Yep.
and you plug it in, you put it into your ground. There's a tester they send you to make sure your ground is working. You plug that into the ground, plug the other plug into your sheet. You could even run it outside of your house. There's a cord but
Hmm.
our house is too tall and it wouldn't make it there. The rod wouldn't hit the ground. I don't think, and I don't want to run a thing through my window.
Yeah.
So we've been using that for several weeks now. And I do have to tell you, I notice I sleep more sound. I
Hmm.
don't go to the bathroom 12 times a night anymore. You know, whenever Jan has a guest, I think it's best to focus on the guest and not let our banter get in the way, Joe. Oh, yeah, well, we do that enough on the regular lives. But yeah, um, I've noticed a difference. So I was
Definitely.
thinking
Yeah.
about it this morning. I was like, are these things really working? Because I can't make stuff up in my head and say, "Oh yeah, they're working great." If I don't have it, I want proof. Proof is in the pudding. So
Well,
that's
exactly. And when you're grounding like that in bed, or if you're in front of the computer, they have things that you can put your feet on, basically copper sheeting. You can just use copper wire and or copper sheets and put it in, as long as you're right to having the testing that it is actually to an outside grounding source. But that is
mhm.
going to balance you. It is going to help your biology to rebuild your cells while you sleep. We don't understand, or most people don't understand, that when you're awake and moving around, your biology is running your body. They're keeping you functioning. They only
Yeah.
heal you when you're asleep. So the
Hmm.
best time for you to be healed is sleep. You need to have minimum of 4 hours of sleep every day for your circadian rhythm to work properly,
You said
right?
8, right? 9, 10 hours.
Yeah, minimum of 4. That's generally a full cycle through REM sleep. But yeah, the more you sleep, especially if you're not feeling well or if you're dealing with issues, then that can have a huge benefit for you in that. But yes, grounding, um, stopping those radio frequencies from interfering with you,
Hmm.
that grounding sheet that you're using is literally almost putting a bubble of energy around you while you're sleeping, that
Yeah.
is stopping those other signals from harming you.
Yep. Yep. And I always like turn Wi-Fi off and all that. I don't let any of that stuff run because I don't like what happens with that. So,
All
but
my computers
copper,
are hardwired.
yeah, well, it's on my phone, so
Yep.
I don't know. Oh, my computer is still on though, but it's in another room, so
Well,
I
and
don't
that's it.
know.
It's distance from the source. But anybody that's holding that phone to your head all the time, put it on speaker. Keep it away. Don't cook your brains.
Always,
You're cooking.
always, yes, yes. So I have personally, I've noticed a change. You
Hmm.
know, thank you, Jerry. You are a member. 8 months. Um, it's to me, it's just the things that we haven't. When I know when I was looking into the um, grounding sheet.
Hmm.
I was watching. I went down the rabbit hole. You know, I told you I like to go down rabbit holes. So I
Yep.
went down the rabbit hole. Oh my gosh, the things it does for
Hmm.
your, is it molecular system? Your
Yep.
is that the right term for your system?
Yeah.
It it will help with migraines. Like we have copper inserts in our shoes,
Yep.
and like Kevin, I believe it was maybe the first week or days even that he wore his. He felt better.
Yeah.
He felt better, and so you know,
Our bodies want balance.
yes, our but yes. And when they are out of balance, you fall into depression, you fall into fear, you fall into cloudy thinking. You just can't get your crap together. As hard as you try, you just cannot. And so remember, you know, just take some time to connect with the earth that God's given us. And for me, being here in Missouri opposed to Texas, well, in Texas we had cockle spurs and we had red ants. So you never went barefoot in Texas,
No.
you'd be, well, it's bad. Here, like I was born and raised in Illinois, and the grass here and the ground is similar. I can walk in my yard barefooted. And so I do it every chance I get. Or I have flip flops on and then I take them off and get my feet
Yep.
dirty. So, well, Ken, it's been an hour. I so appreciate you coming on. Hi, Bobby. I appreciate you coming on. And you've just been such a lovely person to get to know. And I hope you come back again and let's talk dirt. Let's talk
I
about
would
stuff.
love to. Anytime you want, just reach out.
I will. I will. I know you're going to be busy for a while. So
Well, and
everyone,
anybody else that wants to have me on, just reach out to it's all about the biology at
yep,
gmail.com.
that's it. It's all
Yep.
about the biology at gmail.com. You know, you can't make it any simpler than that. And I have learned so much from Ken. I met him on Gardner or Joe's Garden State Gardener. He's actually on Grow Big TV, Joe's
Yep.
other channel. And I was like, I I so would love to go and just chat. I'd love to have like a day just to pick your brain.
Oh, I'm in trouble now.
I know, because I mean, well, you can talk terminology to me all day long, but when you just give me the logical facts, well, my mind can follow that. I'm like the third grader, you know. Okay, so if I cross the road and I look both ways and there's nothing coming, I can cross. But if I don't look and I cross, there could be a car come hit me. You know, you got to talk to
Yep.
me like that. So,
Common sense. Yes.
yes, common sense. Yes. So y'all, I'm going to encourage you to go check out Ken's channel. It's he's just got so much information, and you know, I'm sort of a gardening geek. I wasn't always, and the things that I gleaned from him and others um, really helped our garden this year, and I I would just love for y'all to just show Ken some love and let's get his channel growing, y'all. Come on. Anyone here, if you'll put Ken's link up, that would be awesome. Hi, Donald, Money Pit. We're about to go. Put his link up for me. I'd appreciate that. Um,
And if you guys are into microscopy, on Monday with Leighton Morrison on the Soil Matters, we have a gentleman coming on that's going to do live demonstrations and looking at biology under a microscope.
oh, what time?
It is at 2 o'clock Pacific, 3 o'clock Mountain, and take it across the globe.
Okay, good deal. Good deal. I'll look for it. Are you gonna streamcast it with them, or
Oh
you're
yeah,
doing?
I'm actually the producer on Leighton Morrison's show. Leighton Morrison is the host.
Yeah, I've
He's
seen
one
him.
of the guys that has taught me and brought me on this journey where I found out about the S phase of cell development and came up with it's all about the biology.
Yeah, that's
It's all
awesome.
his fault. Yep, it's all his fault.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to spank them.
And
Well,
Indiana Backyard Gardener is on with Andy Lopez, the Invisible Gardener, and myself on Wednesday evening. So you guys are going to want to check that out. We're going to be having her on.
she's so knowledgeable. She's
Yeah.
awesome. I've had the pleasure of knowing Adrian a few years, and she's an amazing person.
Yep.
I'm like, well, how do you know all this? you know, but okay, I'm going to let y'all go. Y'all have a blessed weekend, and we will see you next week, next weekend, next Friday. Ken is also on at 6 o'clock Central, and you know, just maybe you can alternate us or go watch replay or something. You could trade off Ken and Jan and Ken.
Yeah, and we've actually got Paula Ruffin on with us next Friday on the 2nd.
Paula, she a doctor?
Yes, Dr. Paula, she's the chiropractor. She did
Yes.
interviewed me earlier this week.
Oh yeah. I think I caught part of it. I didn't catch the whole thing, but yeah, I
Yep.
know exactly who you're talking about. She's amazing.
Hey, bye everybody.
All right, bye-bye. Y'all be blessed. Say bye now. Bye now.